Why seniors over 80 must avoid traveling for health, safety, and peace of mind. 6 serious reasons. Have you ever stopped to consider just how risky traveling can become once you reach your 80s, even if you've been an experienced traveler your whole life? The truth is, once we step into our 8th decade, our bodies and minds begin responding to new environments in ways we might not expect. Travel may sound thrilling, visions of distant lands, new cultures, and exciting adventures, but the reality at this stage of life can be very different. The challenges, both physical and emotional, often outweigh the rewards. Now, this isn't about stripping away the joy of adventure or discouraging exploration. It's about being realistic about the hidden difficulties that come with traveling later in life. When you know what obstacles might arise, you're in a better position to protect your health, your safety, and your peace of mind. In today's video, we'll uncover 6 major reasons why traveling after 80 may not be the best idea. These aren't abstract theories, they're real-life issues that many older adults face, but don't often talk about. And trust me, the final reason may surprise you the most. It could even make you rethink your travel plans altogether. So, let's begin. Reason 1: Higher health risks and limited emergency care. One of the most pressing concerns about traveling after 80 is the unpredictability of health problems, and how they often show up at the worst possible times. At this stage of life, the body is far less forgiving. Even a seemingly minor issue can escalate quickly into a medical emergency. At home, you know exactly where to go if something goes wrong. You know your hospital, your doctor, your pharmacy. But once you're on the road, that safety net disappears. In some destinations, medical facilities may not have the tools or staff to deal with the complex needs of an older patient. Language barriers and unfamiliar health systems can create dangerous delays in treatment. Imagine for a moment you're in a small town on a tour and you suddenly experience chest pain or shortness of breath. Back home, you'd dial for help and an ambulance would arrive in minutes. Abroad, you may find yourself scrambling to find a clinic, trying to explain your symptoms in another language, and hoping they have the right equipment to treat you. Even something as simple as dehydration can spiral into fainting spells, dizziness, and complications that take far longer to recover from at this age. Medications are another critical issue. Many seniors rely on daily prescriptions, often with strict timing. But travel schedules, delayed flights, changing time zones, missed connections, can interfere with these routines. Missing doses or taking them at the wrong time can trigger serious health consequences. For many people over 80, routine is the backbone of stability. And travel often disrupts that. Even in well-developed countries, hospital wait times can stretch for hours, and specialized treatment may be miles away. This becomes especially dangerous if you have chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease, or respiratory issues where every minute counts. Now, this doesn't mean you should live in fear. But it does mean acknowledging that the health risks are magnified when you're far away from your support system. At home, your doctor knows your history, your family can step in, and your pharmacy has your prescriptions ready. On the road, you're often left to face the crisis alone. The comfort of having familiar care nearby is something most people don't realize they value, until it's gone. Travel can be enriching, but after 80, you must ask yourself whether the destination is truly worth the risk to your health. Being honest about your needs isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Protecting the life you've worked so hard to preserve is the most important journey of all. Reason 2: Greater vulnerability to accidents and falls. As the years pass, balance, muscle strength, and reflexes naturally change, even if you stay active. By the time you're in your 80s, these changes significantly raise the chances of accidents. Travel puts you in unfamiliar environments where hazards are harder to spot. Uneven sidewalks, cobblestone streets, stairs without railings, slippery tiles, crowded markets, dimly lit alleys, all of these become hidden dangers. Something as simple as lifting a suitcase while keeping your balance can cause a stumble. And unlike at home, you don't know the safest paths or the easiest shortcuts. The consequences of a fall at this age can be life-altering. A fractured hip, shoulder, or wrist may require surgery, long rehabilitation, and weeks, if not months, of dependence on others. Beyond the physical pain, there's also the emotional cost. Many seniors lose confidence in their mobility after a fall, which can lead to isolation and reduced activity. Traveling tends to push us past our normal limits, standing in long queues, walking extra miles during tours, carrying heavy shopping bags. Fatigue sets in quickly, and once it does, your reflexes slow, making accidents more likely. Footwear is another overlooked factor. You may pack comfortable shoes, but certain cultural sites or restaurants may require different attire. Shoes without proper grip or support dramatically increase the risk of slipping. Combine that with rain, polished tiles, or uneven stairs, and the hazard multiplies. It's not about avoiding activity altogether, it's about realizing that the places you'll encounter while traveling weren't designed with your safety in mind. At home, you've adapted your surroundings for comfort and security. On the road, you don't have that advantage. By being aware of these risks, you can make wiser decisions to preserve your independence. After all, avoiding one accident could mean saving months of recovery and hardship. Backhand index pointing right. If you're still watching and finding value here, type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're with me. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Your support keeps this channel going strong. Reason 3: difficulty adjusting to extreme weather and climate changes. Another overlooked challenge of traveling after 80 is how the body struggles to adapt to sudden climate changes. The older we get, the harder it becomes to regulate body temperature. A mild shift for someone younger can feel like a huge strain for someone older. Travel often means going from one extreme to another, cold, air-conditioned airports to hot, humid streets, or leaving a warm home climate only to land in freezing winds. These abrupt shifts put extra pressure on your heart, lungs, and energy levels. Heat increases the risk of dehydration, dizziness, and heat exhaustion, often faster than expected. Cold, on the other hand, stiffens joints, raises blood pressure, and heightens the risk of respiratory illness. High altitudes make things harder too, as the air thins and your body must work overtime for oxygen. Humidity is another hidden stressor. Moist, heavy air can drain energy and complicate breathing for those with asthma or respiratory issues. On the flip side, dry climates can dehydrate you without warning, drying skin, sinuses, and lowering your resistance to illness. Here's another complication: older bodies aren't as good at signaling thirst or fatigue. Problems can sneak up quietly until they become serious. Add to that jet lag, irregular sleep, and long flights, and your system is pushed even further. Clothing becomes another challenge. Some destinations have drastic temperature swings within a single day. Packing and carrying the right layers can feel burdensome, but misjudging can leave you chilled or overheated, both dangerous at this age. Weather is the one factor you cannot control when traveling. Younger people may shrug off a sudden heat wave or chilly night, but after 80, the same change can turn into a health crisis. Adapting takes energy, and energy is something to protect carefully at this stage of life. Travel is not impossible, but it's vital to understand how your body might react, and decide if the stress is truly worth it. Reason 4: long flights and extended transportation strain. Endless hours in airports, long-haul flights, cross-country bus rides, and crowded trains can be tough at any age, but after 80, the strain becomes much more severe. Prolonged sitting in cramped spaces leads to stiff joints, swelling, and sometimes dangerous blood clots like deep vein thrombosis. Even with occasional stretching, circulation slows, leaving you tired and sore long after the journey ends. Recovery time is much longer at this age. The strain isn't just physical. Travel days are mentally demanding, navigating terminals, managing luggage, rushing to catch connections, standing in lines. The sensory overload of noise, crowds, and constant announcements adds to the stress. If your vision or hearing isn't sharp, it can feel overwhelming. Sleep disruption compounds the problem. Red-eye flights, time zone changes, and new hotel beds can make restful sleep nearly impossible. Even one missed night of quality sleep weakens your immune system and drains energy. For seniors, that fatigue doesn't vanish overnight, it can last for days. Hydration and meals are another issue. Airline food may not suit your diet, and cabin air dehydrates you faster than you realize. Some older travelers cut back on water to avoid frequent bathroom trips, but this can worsen dehydration and cause headaches, dizziness, or constipation. By the time you reach your destination, you may feel drained rather than excited. Younger travelers bounce back quickly, but at 80, the wear and tear lingers, affecting the rest of your trip. Travel can still be joyful in later years, but only when transportation is simple, direct, and designed with your needs in mind. If the journey itself becomes an exhausting obstacle, the adventure on the other end may not be worth the cost. Backhand index pointing right if you're still with me, comment number 4 below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, your encouragement keeps us creating valuable content. Reason 5, financial strain and hidden costs. Traveling later in life isn't just a matter of energy, it can also take a toll on your wallet. At 80 and beyond, many people live on fixed incomes or carefully managed savings. Trips that once felt affordable can now become significant financial stressors. Flight prices, hotel costs, travel insurance, and accessible accommodations all add up. Senior-specific needs, such as mobility aids, medical coverage, or central hotel locations, raise costs even higher. What looks manageable on paper can easily spiral once the trip begins. Medical expenses abroad are one of the biggest financial risks. Even with travel insurance, exclusions, deductibles, and payment requirements can leave you covering large bills yourself. Some countries demand payment upfront before treatment, and getting reimbursed later can be a complicated process. Unexpected costs pop up too: currency exchange fees, tourist markups, taxis when public transit isn't an option, overpriced airport meals. These daily small expenses quickly drain a budget. And if illness or injury forces you to change plans suddenly, last-minute cancellations or flight changes can cost hundreds or even thousands. Many older travelers also prefer convenience for comfort: direct flights, seat upgrades, centrally located hotels, guided tours. These choices make travel easier, but also more expensive. The bigger concern is long-term financial security. At this stage, savings aren't just about comfort, they're about ensuring you have resources for healthcare, home care, and daily living in the years ahead. A costly trip may bring temporary pleasure, but if it threatens your stability later, it may not be worth it. Travel is supposed to bring joy, not money worries. And the stress of financial strain can overshadow the very peace you're seeking. Being realistic about costs, both obvious and hidden, is a way of protecting your independence and your freedom. Reason 6, emotional and mental stress from routine disruption. One of the most underestimated travel challenges after 80 is the emotional toll of leaving behind familiar routines. At this stage of life, daily rhythms provide comfort, stability, and independence. Morning walks, mealtimes, favorite chairs, familiar faces, these small patterns make life feel safe and grounded. Travel disrupts those rhythms. Suddenly you're in a new place, making constant decisions: where to eat, how to get around, what to do next. Decision fatigue sets in quickly. For younger people it's invigorating, for older adults, it can be draining and stressful. Navigating new places can also be overwhelming. Busy airports, confusing signage, noisy streets, all of these can feel like sensory overload. If memory, vision, or hearing isn't as sharp, even small challenges can snowball into frustration. Sleep disruption worsens everything. Strange beds, different time zones, unfamiliar nighttime noises, they all affect rest. And without solid sleep, patience decreases, irritability rises, and small setbacks feel magnified. There's also the emotional side of leaving behind your community. At home, you have regular connections, neighbors, friends, family calls. On the road, those are replaced by brief, polite exchanges that may feel impersonal. For many, that sense of connection is irreplaceable. Some seniors return home from trips not refreshed, but drained. That's a sign that the disruption to mental and emotional balance outweighed the enjoyment of the trip. It's not about resisting change, it's about valuing what truly supports your well-being. At this age, emotional peace is just as important as physical health. Protecting it means choosing experiences that sustain rather than deplete you. Backhand index pointing right if you've made it this far, drop number 6 in the comments to show you're still here. And make sure you're subscribed so you never miss important discussions like this. Final thoughts. Let's take a moment to reflect on the 6 reasons we've covered. Together, they touch on nearly every aspect of life after 80: health, safety, comfort, finances, and emotional stability. The message isn't that you must stop traveling, it's that traveling at this age comes with challenges that can't be ignored. Ask yourself, which of these reasons resonated most with you? Was it the lack of nearby medical care? The risk of falls? The financial strain? Or the disruption of routines? Identifying the points that matter most gives you the power to make choices that prioritize your safety and peace of mind. Adventure doesn't have to mean a passport stamp. Joy can be found closer to home, in hobbies, local outings, family gatherings, and the beauty of your own community. Choosing not to travel doesn't mean you're missing out, it means you're protecting your independence and stability. What you once sought in faraway places, connection, beauty, meaning, can often be found right where you are. And sometimes, the most fulfilling adventures are the ones that preserve your health and happiness. Thank you for spending your time with us today. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you learned from this video, and how will you apply it to your life? Share your thoughts in the comments. We read every one, and your insights inspire us as much as we hope to inspire you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might benefit. Your support helps us keep creating meaningful content to inform and uplift. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.